next case.
Please raise your right hand.
Business owner Josean is suing his former friend for a personal loan. Defendant Yolanda Caldwell says the plaintiff broke into her home.
Mr. Posey, you seem to be suing Miss Caldwell for failure to repay a loan that you advanced her. Is that right?
That's correct, sir.
What happened?
Okay, Yolanda and I, we grew up in the same neighborhood. We've been friends for a while. We get back in contact with each other. You know, I've loaned her money before. She's paid me back with no problem. On this particular day, the 19th of April, it was a Sunday. She asked to borrow money from me. She said she just sent money to her father. It was a Sunday. The banks were closed. And she said on Monday she would pay me back. You know, being that I loaned her money before, I didn't feel it was a problem. And I loaned it to her. When the 20th came, the next day, I didn't hear from her, you know, what happened. You know, then a couple of days went by, still didn't hear from her. Then that's when I started getting hit with excuses, you know, from everything to, you know, her son went to the hospital to, you know, she just didn't have the money. I asked for her pink slip to hold for collateral for a car. She said she was going to sell her car and try to return the money back to me. Then after that, she said she put her car gave her car to the pawn shop for a loan. She pawned her car, right? But I still didn't receive anything. Still after that.
Still haven't gotten any money.
Still didn't get any money. No numbers changed. Ended up having to drive to her husband's house to find out, and I was able to reach her in, but we talked through the door. She said that she would try to give me some money in a couple of days. Still didn't get any money.
We'll be back with more Judge Joe Brown in a moment.
I never told Josean that I was not going to pay him back. At the time that I borrowed the money, I did borrow the money to send to my father.
Isn't that sort of a rob Peter to pay Paul type situation?
No, because when I borrowed the money from Josean, Josean knew that I had the money in the bank.
Closed captioning sponsored by...
For my arthritis.
Bad girls you love to hate today on Judge Joe Brown.
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The plaintiff in this case says his friend needed money to wire to her father. He says she promised to pay him the next day, but her personal problems got in the way again. Let's take a look.
Let's go to the defendant.
Okay. I never told Josean that I was not going to pay him back. At the time that I borrowed the money, I did borrow the money to send to my father.
Why?
Because he was in Arkansas and he was dealing with his mother and his sister who recently passed, and he asked me to lend it to him.
And what was he going to do with it?
Excuse me?
What was he going to do with it?
I guess expenses that he had out there.
What expenses?
Whatever expenses he had. I mean...
You just send $2,500 just off the top of your head to Little Rock?
Yes.
You wired it?
Yes.
Okay. Isn't that sort of a rob Peter to pay Paul type situation?
No, because when I borrowed the money from Josean, Josean knew that I had the money in the bank. I had recently...
He may have known it, but apparently he's mistaken because said shekels were not in the bank.
Okay, well, the reason why the checks were not in the bank is because I wasn't aware that my account was frozen from a car that I had voluntarily repossessed from me.
Well, you had problems with someone else.
No, I didn't have problems. I voluntarily had them take the car back from me because of a problem that I had with them that had nothing to do with me.
Hold on, before we get into that song and dance. How is it that you're going to have money in the bank to pay him and your account is frozen because of another failure to pay that? How were you not aware of it?
Because the bank was closed that day.
When did you learn of this?
That Monday. I never told Josean that I was not going to pay him the funds back.
Well, he didn't get paid, so were you telling him the truth or not? Because I'm having a problem with, you know, you see you come up with several excuses, one of which is I didn't know that my bank account was going to be frozen. I didn't find it out till Monday, and when I find it out Monday, it's too late to do anything with him because I had the money in the account. No, you didn't have any account they attached it.
If I had the money in the bank or not, if you borrow money from somebody, you don't expect to get stalked. You don't expect to come to your house and find somebody sleeping on your mattress on the floor.
A lot more than that happens.
Well,
and he's asleep on your couch? Sounds like he's right at home. Maybe he's just saying maybe you have some distress and he's coming over there to help you. A friend he's dealt with a long time.
Yeah, well, maybe
Poor
if he had
baby
a
girl
door
has
key,
some
that would be
problems.
one thing, but I didn't give him a door key. So if I walk in my house at 6 o'clock in the morning...
Maybe you left it unlocked.
No, I did not leave my house
You left it unlatched.
No, I
so
didn't.
You walk
Even
in.
if I left it unlocked, we didn't have the kind of friendship where I can just walk into his house at any time and he can walk into mine.
Well, did you have the kind of friendship you could borrow $2,500 cash from him on a Sunday because you can't get to the bank?
Yes, because I did it in the past.
Okay, now what did you do with the
$2,500? I sent the money off.
How?
Western Union.
How much did they charge you?
$32.
Judge Joe Brown makes his ruling after this.
At the end of a year, about 95% of smokers who try to quit cold turkey will be unsuccessful. If you haven't been able to quit smoking, you haven't failed. Maybe your method of quitting has. But you can do it. You may just need the right tools. Clinical guidelines recommend treatment and support to improve your chances of quitting smoking. Why not get all the help you can? Make a plan, get support, and talk to your doctor about prescription treatment options that can help you quit smoking. And to find out more, go to rethinkyourquit.com.
At the Scrubbing Bubbles Toilet Division, scrubologists discovered the only thing worse than a dirty toilet is a dirty clip-on.
Ew!
Scrubbing Bubbles Toilet Cleaning Gel. Just stamp it in your bowl. It cleans and freshens for a whole week and dissolves away.
Study.org or any other training as a medical won't pay extra for HD programming. Plus, we're now giving you 3 times more HD channels than before, all delivered over our advanced fiber optic network. Satellite.
Did your ex cheat, then leave you in debt? Call 1-877-JOE'S-LAW or visit JudgeJoeBrown.com.
So he needed the $2,500 for what?
I guess whatever expenses, but I didn't question what his expenses were. He was my father. He
What
asked me.
No.
Yes.
Daddy doesn't borrow money from baby girl. He bails her out. Now, where'd you send the money?
Marion, Arkansas.
No, show me your receipt.
I didn't bring a receipt.
Because what I'm looking at is you have a typical profile, which is I'm broke, busted. I didn't pay the car note. They've attached my bank account, which means, guess what? They have a judgment against you, and there's a levy and execution that's been issued.
It was voluntarily.
Well, they levy
and
and
I
then
bought another car, cash money after
well, then
one.
if you volunteered, then you knew you didn't have the funds on deposit, so you misled him. 19.8% interest compounded quarterly. Your recovery is going to be $3,114.52. Your award.
And this court is now in recess.
The defendant in this case says all she needed was just a little more time, but the judge does not believe her sob story about her father. That money's going to the blankets. I'll be right back.
Next on Judge Joe Brown.
He bought me a